Welcome back to another episode of the Black Firm. This is episode 4. First off, I want to say big up on yourself, Vibes Cartel. You just beat your murder charge, so we excited for your return. I know this summer finna be wicked. And then also, I do want to mention RIP to Representative Eric Mays. I'm not sure if you are aware who the brother is, but real revolutionary freedom fighter. Go check out some of his videos if you haven't seen him. Anyhow, today I want to talk about Brics. Not the off-white kind, the light tan kind, but the collective of these emerging nations. I think it's something that we really need to look at. Before I always forget this, like, subscribe to the video. Make sure you turn the notifications on. That helps immensely. So the reason that we need to take a look into Brics is right now we are seeing the decline of an empire in real time, from numerous conflicts and genocides worldwide to division and unrest politically, domestically. And not only that, but we're seeing the global South starting a strategy of de-dollarization. The 1956 Suez Crisis was significant globally because it's widely accepted as one of the main events that ended the British Empire. Their lack of strategy and military power in the crisis, coupled with a couple other economic factors, ultimately led to their stronghold on one of the most important trade routes in the world. So this control of trade of commerce, primarily oil, was taken over by the U.S. This paired with America's neo-colonial geopolitical strategy and its stronghold on the Panama Canal, as well as stealing labor from enslaved people for 400 years, ultimately led America to become the world power. Almost poetically, though, just like its predecessor, we're seeing the inability of America to maintain control of the Suez Canal and the Panama Canal. Since the recent ground invasion of Gaza and the Western sanctioned genocide of the Palestinian people, we've seen numerous Arab militant groups attacking Western ships in the Red Sea. This has become such a significant problem that it's causing ships to take alternative routes and even has the potential to raise the price of goods globally. Simultaneously, halfway around the world, a disaster of equal proportions is happening in the Panama Canal. Now, historically, Panama's rainy season has been more than enough to replenish the lake that provides millions of gallons that's needed for the ships to traverse across the locking gate systems of the canal. However, droughts in Central America are causing the Panamanian governments to severely restrict the amount of traffic that's able to go across the canal. This has the same potential to cause strain on global shipping routes and raise prices globally. America's inability to curtail these issues at the canal and their willingness to weaponize their dollar and SWIFT is causing a rampant de-dollarization by the global South. First mentioned in 2001 by Jim O'Neill, the then chief economist at Goldman Sachs, in a research paper titled Building Better Global Economic Brics, O'Neill identified Brazil, Russia, India, and China as emerging markets and that they had the potential for significant growth. Brics first officially met in 2009 and then added South Africa in 2010. Brics has become an unofficial association of upcoming nations to discuss and coordinate on topics such as economics, development, global governance, and regional stability. Brics nations currently account for 45% of the world population, 41.6% of the global manufacturing, according to United Nations statistics. With the recent extension of membership to Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, UAE, and Ethiopia, Brics nations will now account for 47% of the world's oil production, 50% of the world's gross agricultural production, as global food security through sharing and cooperation is one of the highest priorities of Brics nations. In 2022, Brics nations accounted for 31.5% of the global GDP, surpassing the more developed G7 nations. This is a testament to the power that these Brics nations actually have. I wanted to give these stats to really illustrate the large slice of the pie that Brics nations account for. Through its Belt Road Initiative, we can see China's policy of collectivizing previously colonized nations and using the Western world strategy of neo-imperialism against them. Instead of destabilizing governments, stealing resources, and sending countries into poverty, China focuses on little to zero interest loans and building up developing nations' infrastructure with the foresight to understand that these nations, once they become self-sufficient and once they nationalize their respective industries, they're going to give China preferential treatment in business. The nations of the global south are awakening and understanding that they're the ones that are resource rich, and it's the West that needs them and not the other way around. For example, Israel's largest export is diamonds, despite having zero diamond mines. Nuclear power supplies up to 71% of France's energy, and 20% of that uranium comes from Niger, a sub-Saharan African country where less than 20% of the population have access to electricity. I do believe that we're waking up collectively and we're understanding who the bad guys really are in the world. We're beginning to understand that we are victims of propaganda, even though we thought we were immune. Brics gives a glint of hope to oppressed and occupied people. Really, the way out the plantation is collectivization, syndication, pooling of resources, educating the masses, liberation of all genders, and equity for the disenfranchised. Like the revolutionary Thomas Sankara said, imperialism is a system of exploitation that occurs not only in the brutal form of those who come with guns to conquer, but imperialism often occurs in a more subtle form: a loan, food aid, blackmail. We're fighting this system that allows a handful of men on earth to rule all of humanity. Y'all stay black.
Don't prompt me. Don't push me. You push me to say something that maybe I shouldn't say or wouldn't have said.